Good evening, everybody. Coming up on 10:15 right now. Hope you've had a great day so far. Enjoyed the nice temperatures and even cooler weather on the way for tomorrow. We've been advertising this all week. In fact, tomorrow's temperature is typical for what you would find in October, but the price we pay, soaking rain. And it has been a while since we've had soaking rain of this magnitude. So let's get right to it. Let me know where you're watching from right now and give me a thumbs up if this is coming through loud and clear. I'd love to have you on here. Let me know what you're thinking in your town. I know my yard's a bit crunchy and we could use the rain at the Justice home. So tomorrow is an impact day. We don't issue these very lightly. We issue them when the weather's out of the ordinary. And in this case, we're talking about a good soaking rain of the likes of which we haven't had in quite a while. We're talking about rainfall that could total 5 inches in some locations. And when you get to those kind of totals, anywhere over 3 inches can give us flooding. So we're going to have to watch this very closely. And moving forward, we do have that level 2 medium risk for flooding tomorrow across all the western Carolinas, North Georgia, and East Tennessee. So areas that we're watching very closely here that could be impacted by the rain and the persistent heavy rain at that. Let me show you what's happening right now in satellite and radar. Big picture, here's what's coming our way. Quite a bit of energy in the atmosphere just sending us rain after rain, and we have very tropical air in place, so it's going to allow for it to be very muggy. I see Simpsonville's in the house, Pelzer's in the house. We got Sandy watching, Robert's watching right now. Jevia Lynn watching from Greenville. Good evening from Westminster. Katrina, thank you for tuning in. As we look at the satellite and radar, we've got clouds in place right now and some showers. Some of the showers have been hefty today. You do not have to worry about thunderstorms tonight while you're sleeping, although there could be some storms to our west tomorrow. I don't expect them here. This is really just a good old-fashioned soaking rain for us. Through the day, that storm threat does get a little bit closer to home. It's a low risk for strong storms, but mainly exists back toward the west where it's going to be a lot warmer and a bit more unstable. Here at home, remember, we're going to be waking up to this, mid to upper 60s, and temperatures that are really going to struggle to warm tomorrow because we're talking about it warming only slowly. When you got rain that moves in early in the day, it's hard to get that temperature up at all. So 74 is our high temperature tomorrow in Greenville, 72 in Spartanburg, 71 in Asheville. I have not been able to say that for months. The coolest air we've had so far this summer by far. And these highs are typical for what you would find in October. Now, you're not going to find the crispness that you would find in the air like in October, but it will certainly be a lot cooler than we should be, and you know it can be a lot worse here in August. So let me show you hour by hour. Brand new computer model just came out, shows we're really fine with the rain until about midnight and beyond. After that, it's fair game. You'll likely wake up to heavy downpours tomorrow, so if your travels take you up and out early, whom are early risers in the house, let me know. We're going to see that rain come on through, and you may need to plan for that. It could be heavy at times rolling on through the area tomorrow. So we're going to watch that for you very closely as it rolls on through Pickens, Clemson, Greenville, Spartanburg. Watching those areas closely, it'll be in about 6:30, 7 o'clock. By the time we get to noon, that rain's still coming down hard and heavy, but there may be a break or two in the afternoon. But here comes 2:30, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. We've got additional rounds of heavy rainfall moving in, and this could make for quite a rainy evening tomorrow. So it looks like we're not quite done with the rain through tomorrow, really about this same time. So about 24 hours of mainly rain. Yes, you'll see it slack up. Yes, you could get a couple of hours of dry weather, but overall, it's going to be raining most of the day tomorrow. We may start off Friday very dry, but I don't think we get out of Friday without rain. The models are still disagreeing a bit with where this next piece of energy will roll through on Friday, but I can tell you I do have rain in the forecast along with some dry conditions. And because the rain doesn't start early in the day on Friday, I do think we'll have a chance at the temperature warming up a bit more. So that's going to allow us to get to 80 or so, especially if we get a few breaks of sunshine. But by the afternoon and evening hours, here comes another round of some rain. And this could be an upper level piece of energy rolling through, which could give us some thunder and lightning, 5:36, 7 o'clock. But that appears to be the end of it. By the time we get into Friday evening, any kind of overnight or evening plans you may have, going into downtown Greenville, maybe for some dinner, Spartanburg, Asheville, I think most of us are drying out, and by the time we wake up on Saturday morning, a much different environment setting up for our area to where I think we're sitting pretty nice going into the weekend. So, rainfall potential. How much will your town see? How much will your yard see? Well, my yard could use a good soaking. Looks like we're going to get it in Greenville. As much as 4 inches. That's a model painting an area that could get repeated downpours, what we call training. Anytime you get training, you can get some downpours that give us 2, 3, 4 inches of rain. So, wow, that could lead to some flooding in some locations, which is why we need to watch this closely. We are tracking the tropics, not much cooking right now. What looked to be Emily in the middle of the Atlantic is no more. It's not expected to give us any problems. And moving forward, we do have Saharan dust on our side. That is a good thing. It's not an end-all, be-all. It could still give us some activity here and there as we go forward. But overall, Saharan dust looks to be quite plentiful moving forward throughout the next week to 10 days. And that is a good thing. This is normally the time of the year where the tropics are trying to wake up. Normally pretty quiet. It's the second 2 weeks in August and the first 2 weeks in September that account for the majority of our storm systems. So the fact that we have the Saharan dust coming in at that time that we're normally waking up is a good thing. And I just need this tropical activity to stay away from the Caribbean. I'm looking at what is called tropical heat energy. It's basically fuel for the tropical systems that could make it into this area. It does not account for what's happening above us in the atmosphere. There could be a tremendous amount of wind shear that kind of takes that away. However, should an ideal storm system that has no wind shear attached with it get into this area of the Caribbean, it could rapidly intensify. That's where we're seeing it. I'm not seeing it so much back toward the west. And as you would expect this time of the year, that's just not the way the tropics are set up. As I look closely at the European model, which is one of our most high-resolution models and our most reliable, to be honest with you, I don't see anything getting into that area of the tropics as I move forward. You're looking at August 8th. You're looking at next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's just nothing cooking. Now, could something crop up between now and then? Absolutely. But right now, I'm just not seeing it, which is good news. It does look like toward the end of next week, a pretty pronounced wave comes off the Cape Verde Islands. And we'll have to watch that because should it get some activity and get its act together, it could form. But remember, there's a tremendous amount of Saharan dust in this area. And if you kind of look at the players in the Atlantic, you've got the high pressure right in here. You've got steering currents that would steer this way, which is where we had plenty of Saharan dust during that time frame. So could there be a wave in there? Could there be some activity off the coast of the Carolinas or Florida that crops up but tries to kind of move away? Yes, and we'll need to watch those flare-ups close to home if we can get something going deeper into the Atlantic. So are we completely removed from anything tropical? No. We could certainly get something to crop up between now and then, but overall, I like what I'm seeing in the tropics right now. So what can I help you guys answer? What's going on in your neck of the woods? What are you concerned about right now? Because there's a couple of things that I want to show you here with regards to our winter forecast. I am working on our winter forecast. Yeah. Excuse me. How can I be doing that right now, you might ask? Are you crazy? The answer is probably a little bit of both. I love extended forecasting, but you kind of have to take it for what it's worth. However, there's pattern recognition at this point, and there's a couple of things that I'm watching right now that are coming together that could make this an epic year for snow in the East Coast. Does that mean it's going to snow cats and dogs at your place in Greenville, South Carolina, in Charlotte, North Carolina, in Asheville? Not necessarily, but could it? Absolutely. And that's what we need to watch for, because there's a couple of things coming together in our atmosphere right now that make that important. So let's show you that, and then I'll take some questions you might have about what's going on right now. Sea surface temperatures in the Atlantic, in the Gulf, and the Caribbean just off the charts. We have very, very warm water temperatures right now, and in part that's due to our atmosphere that we've had in place. We've had a very big, strong ridge all of July, and think about your outdoor pools, the lake, for example. When the water's calm and not mixed up and the sun's beating down on it, it's going to warm it up tremendously. We've had really calm weather in the southeast. There's not been any tropical activity, and for the most part, it's been a really quiet July, other than some pop-up thunderstorms. That doesn't mix up the atmosphere that much. So still waters have allowed these dark colors right in here across the Gulf and the Caribbean to just skyrocket, 100-degree plus temperatures at times. So that pattern combined with a very strong El Nino of the likes we haven't had in place probably since 2015, 2016, sets up for this winter. That means there's an active jet stream. So a couple of players here to watch going into this winter, and I'm going to have a full video breakdown on this before the end of this week. And you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Shameless plug right here. Trying to get YouTube up and running here. I want many of you to join me on that platform as well. Facebook is great. I'm happy to be here, and I will continue to be here as I am on WYFF4.com. TV, anywhere you can look, you'll find me and our content here. But YouTube is becoming huge, and we want to be there. So, hey, this is where it's going to launch first. So the snow outlook, the snow forecast more in depth, will be on YouTube here by the end of the week. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Please go there. It's easy to do. It takes 3 or 4 seconds. But simply put, pattern to watch this winter, okay? We already know that we have a warm Atlantic, and like bath water, it's hard to cool down a body of water. So we'll get well into winter with warm ocean temperatures. Close to home, it's still going to be chilly to go swimming. However, they'll be above normal. And when you have above normal sea surface temperatures and you have an El Nino pattern setting up, you're going to have a very active southern jet stream. And when you have an active southern jet stream, you oftentimes get this low track that's a Miller A, Miller B type low that tracks from the southwest toward the northeast, and that basically will take advantage of the warm, moist water in the Atlantic and the Gulf for that matter, and could spill back into the East Coast, and that could lead to epic snowstorms. We normally get our biggest snows on the East Coast during El Nino years, and when you factor in the abnormally warm sea surface temperatures, warm oceans are storm fuel, and that could lead to snow bombs where you get these cyclones that just bottom out. The pressure drops significantly, and that could lead to us getting some big time snow this winter. So, hey, full video breakdown on what I expect coming up this week on YouTube, so make sure you tune in there. If you're just now watching right now, we're looking out for some big time rain tomorrow. I'll be mapping that out on WYFF News 4 at 11 o'clock, but simply put, it's going to rain big time tomorrow. We're talking about rainfall basically from the time you wake up until the evening hours, and that rain will be heavy at times. We'll start off at about 70 degrees tomorrow, but as the day goes on, that rain is going to pick up in intensity, and that's going to keep temperatures from getting too warm. They just can't do it with the rain over them. So 72 in Spartanburg, 74 is your high in Greenville. That's the equivalent of a mid-October day. That's not the reason why I started doing the winter forecast either. There's just some signs coming together and some new forecasting out that is showing that El Nino is going to be quite stout going into winter. So a lot coming together for some prognostication at this point. All right, so hey, here we are into tonight. Rain picks up after midnight. Tomorrow morning, rain settling in. If you're not seeing rain when you wake up, hold tight. It's coming in as you speak. Noon, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, we'll have rain continuing. And then going into tomorrow evening, we'll continue to have that rain likely heavy at times. Where I see a break or two, maybe during the afternoon, an hour here, an hour there, but for the most part, rain's going to be with us most of the day tomorrow and most of Friday afternoon. I think you may start off Friday dry, but as the day goes on, we'll be looking out for this activity back to the west that could fizzle out completely and only give us isolated storms or showers on Friday afternoon. But the models are showing here at some point we could get another good soaking moving our way, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, to where Friday evening could be pretty wet as well. So a lot to unpack here, a lot going on in our neck of the woods weather-wise. So what can I help you answer? What do you have planned? I know my family's got a busy week. We've got school starting up very soon. It's really allowing for a very active time frame right now. So, hey, what are you thinking? What's the difference between a Miller A and a Miller B? Well, a Miller A and a Miller B, basically the energy is sent from one low pressure to another, and oftentimes Miller A's can basically send the moisture and the energy to the coastal low, and it shuts things off here in the Western Carolinas. A Miller B is kind of a hybrid and can give us bigger snows, just one consolidated low moving right up. That's the answer to that one, James. What's Westminster going to get? Oh, Destiny, a lot of rain. You're going to get quite a bit of rainfall moving your way. And go snow. Got Ann on Team Snow. I tell you what, snow's my thing. It's my jam. We've been 568 days, I tracked, since we've had a snowflake. A snowflake, folks. We didn't see a single bit of snow last year. And that's only happened one other time in recorded history, 2011 and 2012. So only 2 seasons have robbed us of snow. And yeah, here we go. James, thank you for all your team do. You're very welcome, James. What about Chesney at 5 a.m.? Joe, the rain's probably moving in at that point. You may get to work or wherever you're heading on time, but the rain will be not too far behind you. Ann says, I'm on Team Snow. Ivory says, we don't need snow. Yeah, it does make a mess around here. Anderson, a lot of rain too. Absolutely. You're going to get quite a bit of rain. Daryl, you sound stuffy. Yeah, I do. Something got me today. I don't know what it is. Mowed the yard, and after it just kind of hit me. I'm in Taylor's. I need rain, so I don't have to water my flowers. Angie, you're going to get it. Probably at least an inch. I think an inch is a good baseline for the area. But beyond that, we'll probably get close to 2 and 3 inches in some locations. How's Friday going to be for the Rebel Regiment? We're going to be holding a parent watch, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Should be dry. Should be dry by then. Beyond that Friday afternoon time frame, we should be drying out by the time you're getting going. Do you think there will be flooding tomorrow, James says? I do think there'll be some flooding in the mountains. Probably Pickens, Oconee, Anderson County has a slightly better chance at seeing flooding in the upstate when compared to areas east. I think there may be a little bit more flooding in those locations. Elizabeth, Boiling Springs, can't wait for snow. Yeah, I bet you'll get a good snow this year. I really do. Not to give it all away before we release the forecasts later this week. That's kind of my philosophy, folks. My job is to keep you safe in severe weather. But my philosophy, my goal is to keep you informed. I'm not going to withhold information from you because I'm not sure of it yet. I'm going to tell it to you responsibly. You just got to kind of dissect it responsibly. I know the temptation will be go to the water cooler tomorrow at work and say, Chris said it's going to snow in December. I did not say that. I do think we have a much better chance at having a blockbuster winter this year than in years past, though. A lot setting up to kind of help us out in that realm. What about Royston? Royston's going to get a good rain tomorrow. Certainly going to be pouring down there in Royston. What about the rain start time for Westminster? Probably 6 a.m., Destiny. Greenville traveling to Cherokee tomorrow. Be safe, Patricia. It will certainly be raining on your commute. Be careful there. Steven says, please don't let the Anderson be on the line as usual for snow. There are some occasions where you're not, but yes, you're right. Most of the time you're locked and loaded right there in the snow bubble where you're right there on the line. Hard to get that to not happen there. So we'll do what we do. All right, folks, thank you for tuning in. A lot going on here. We're about 27 minutes away from our broadcast on WYFF News 4 at 11 o'clock. I hope you'll tune in. I hope you'll have a great evening. And, of course, our team will be watching the rain chances for tomorrow as we move forward. It's going to be quite the soaking rain heading our way. Could be as much as 3, 4, 5 inches of rain in some locations. It won't be for everybody, but I think we're all going to at least get a good soaking rain. Hope you have a good night, and we'll keep you posted should anything turn